The Word became a human being and lived here with us. We saw his true glory, the glory of the only Son of the Father. From him, the complete gifts of undeserved grace and truth have come down to us. The law was given by Moses, but Jesus Christ brought us undeserved kindness and truth. Advent is the time when we're coming to the end of what was before and getting prepared for what's about to come. And as we come towards the end of a year, life in the UK has been pretty rough. There's a sense of a lot of things that once had life in them, they're just dried up and gone. And the new things we tried to grow are stunted because there's just not enough resource to create a new life in all its fullness. On the one hand, it feels like there's no water for anything to grow. On the other hand, sometimes there's just too much. We're overwhelmed. We feel like we're drowning. We need rescuing. That's where grace comes in. The grace of a life belt is not something we earn or strive for. It's something that's given to us. It's a hope to cling to when there's nothing else that we can do for ourselves. Grace is an awakening. It's unexpected. It's beautiful, like this butterfly that woke up in midwinter from the warmth of the fire. Hibernating in a corner, it felt the presence, the atmosphere of warmth and woke up. Grace is the light that shines in the midst of our doubts and confusions and uncertainties. Grace is the light that shines in the midst of the ruins and the messes that we've made in life. Grace is what we need to get us going. But grace alone is not enough. We need truth too. Because if we're doing something that is going to cause us harm, if we've ignored the warning signs, if we've gone to places where the foundations are not secure, when we're at risk of serious injury, of harming ourselves or others in the process, we need truth. We need the kind of truth that pierces hearts. Truth brings freedom. But it's the depth at which the truth pierces that allows the depth of what needs to change and come forth. If we only let truth go in surface deep, we can only make surface changes. But the truth that pierces our hearts, it hurts. We bleed. In the same way, Jesus bled. Jesus bled as he hung there on the cross for us. He knew what it cost to release truth as well as grace. But when we allow that truth to take us out of our comfort zone, when we start to awaken and we start to hear the things that are going on that need change, when we start to engage with this, we start to see the shoots of new life. There's river flowing in the desert, and there are shoots of grass to prove it, even though we can't yet see the running water. The first dampness is there. And there's a challenge. No matter how beautiful what went before, no matter how enfolded we are in the midst of it, if we hang on to what needs to let go from the last season, then we'll miss the buds of what's about to grow, and it's the buds that contain or will contain the seeds of the new life. life that will enable us to do things that might have seemed impossible, like this tender plant managing to gain a foothold and grow in the midst of a waterfall. Like bones coming to life. Like this poster done by someone who was in recovery from life chaos and addiction, feeling the dance of a new awakening, a new kind of life. And this kind of life isn't an effort. It isn't something we have to struggle and strive for. Like these bees, they're just diving in for all the sweetness and the nourishment of the nectar that they'll find in the flower. And while they're about their joyful business, it's their backsides that are doing the work. The pollen just gets caught on their behinds, and off they go to the next flower and carry the pollen with them. The fruitfulness comes not from their effort, it's just a side effect, a product of pursuing where the life is for them. And when we live like this, when we allow the messy nothingness of our lives to begin to take shape in the hands of the one who comes to us as grace and truth, Jesus reshapes our lives. And we cannot but be thankful and praise him for what he's done, because we know it wasn't our doing. It's grace and truth being born in us. And it brings us to a place we would never have reached on our own. It brings us to the place where our life is full of fruit. The kind of fruit that has not only great meaning and joy for us, but can impact the people around us. Intimate friendship, security, unconditional love, worth, a sense of purpose, our true identity. We become like a luxuriant fruit tree because everything we need is found in Jesus. This Advent, what is the grace Jesus is stirring in you? What is being formed deep within you in the unseen place? Where are the movements of life? Those first shoots of grass in the desert. Where can you feel life moving within you? How will you nurture this, feed it and help it to grow? How will you shield and protect it from harm? And when finally it comes to full life in you, what will you do with it? What will you do with this grace that you've been given, with this truth that has allowed you to come to a place that you couldn't have got to on your own? What will you use it for? Who will it bless? How will it bless? How will grace and truth be birthed in you this Advent?